Spurs. And now we take a brief check at the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. First for San Antonio, Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4-man position. And looking at the Nuggets, Lawson and Fournier man the backcourt. And in the middle, the long-bodied JaVale McGee. Absolutely elastic. Then there's Gallinari, and it's Fareed in at the 4 spot.
Well, you know, JaVale McGee was taken 18th overall out of Nevada back in 2008. You hear about teams reaching in the draft for size. Well, that wasn't the case this time. You look at this kid's physical gifts. I mean, the tallest standing reach in the NBA. He stands alone in that category.
And for JaVale McGee, not just long, but also athletic. You think of him in the dunk contest, dunking 2 balls on 2 baskets at once. It's a very creative way to go at it.
It's incredible to watch McGee out on the floor, dunking, blocking shots, running like a deer. Still very young, 25 years of age, but he can get a lot better, I think, with his game as he develops his skills.
Fareed off the pick from Fournier. Rejected by Duncan. Parker with it. He dishes it to Green. Outside Leonard. And boy, that looked like goaltending. Yes, it is. And so they will award the basket there.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Now you can tell what the crowd thinks about that call.
Yeah, they erupted as soon as the whistle blew. A dramatic improvement for the San Antonio Spurs defensively last season, guys. Coach Pop had suggested that they might have gotten too old to be an elite defensive team anymore, but that wasn't the case. I think he challenged them a little bit, and they raised the bar of their defensive performance. Not too much congestion in the lane. I think he could have gotten a better shot that time, no question.
Green left side. With the lead pass, here's Splitter. Can't get it to go. Excellent D that time from McGee. And Clark, you mentioned the defensive improvement of the Spurs. Going into last season, their stat gurus told them they needed to focus even more on contesting shots, even if that meant committing more fouls or allowing more offensive rebounds.
Well, and that's exactly what they did, Kevin. They gave up a few more offensive rebounds, fouled slightly more than they had the prior season, but they were better in terms of shot blocks, steals, and they held their opponents to a lower field goal percentage. So a great example of getting an edge from advanced stats.
The Nuggets moving the ball around. Fareed goes in. Fades back. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. Now let's find out what head coach Greg Popovich had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
I asked him what players he was really eyeing on the scouting report, and he said one that might surprise you, Kenneth Fareed. He said he plays with so much energy and effort. He really sets the bar for the rest of the team. If we can limit his impact on the game, I think it'll really be to our advantage. Guys, an interesting take. We'll see if they can slow his roll.
Thanks again, Doris.
That bounce pass got him the ball in rhythm. Nice play.
If you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Parker with it. Now Lawson defending. And stolen by Lawson. And pushing it up. Here's Denver. Gallinari running. Feeds to Fournier. Passes it to McGee. He kicks it to Lawson. Now the pass to Fournier. Dishes to Fareed. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Pass to McGee. And he hits it to tie the game up. McGee's got his first basket.
You know, he's always thinking. That's what I like about him. Spotted the open man and immediately changed out of his shot and gave it up.
Now here's Green, defended by Fournier. Green kicks to Parker. Now Green, the feed to Leonard. Shot on the wing. The offensive rebound. Look from Green. Cans the shot with nobody near him.
Well, you know, when they need a big three, he's the guy they look to. He's about as reliable a deep threat as you're going to find.
And another specialty of his is the three ball from the corner. That's his signature shot.
The shot's good from McGee. McGee's got his second basket of the game.
Another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively so far.
Yeah, I think that could really set things up well the rest of the game. Pound the ball inside and let your perimeter players play off your bigs.
Duncan. No good. And Denver the other way now.
Guys, I think Kenneth Faried was a steal for Denver with the 22nd pick of the 2012 NBA draft out of small Morehead State. His rookie season, he led the NBA in offensive rebounding rating, and he has not let up since.
Boy, that floater takes such a nice touch.
The Spurs have gotten just 3 of their first 9 shots to go down in this game. Outside Leonard. He passes to Splitter. Splitter gets the screen from Leonard. Splitter, that's good. And for Faried, mostly a dunk and putback player offensively, though he has some touch we've seen around the rim.
He's worked hard at it, Kevin, because in college he really didn't show anything beyond 3 or 4 feet, but he's worked on that little 10-foot shot in the lane, and despite his height, he's never going to be a small forward. He's always going to be a power guy battling for position under the board.
The Spurs making a switch here. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. DL comes in for Tim Duncan. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Bellinelli in for Daniel Green. Out to Miller. The Nuggets need to get a shot off here. Here's Hickson. Lawson outside. Chandler outside. Pass to Hickson. The second chance effort. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, for J.J. Hickson, I mean, he is a phenomenal rebounder, guys. Strong, explosive, has the right disposition of aggressiveness. All of that makes him a pretty dangerous finisher around the rim as well.
And Hickson has to play center a lot last season, but at 6'9", you've got to think power forward is a better position for him, wouldn't you think, Steve, long term?
Well, yeah, I think offensively he was able to score at a higher clip playing center because he was too quick for the guys guarding him, but defensively he's not a rim protector. And so I think long term, if you're going to win, you have to play him at the 4 spot.
For Denver, they've gone 50% from the field to this point, 4 of 8. Stolen by Ginobili. Parker, right side. Bellinelli dishes to Parker. And he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down. There's 39 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Miller, the pass to Hickson. Changes up. Rejected by Ginobili. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Nuggets will retain possession. .29 seconds left in the first. Chandler kicks to Arthur. Dives for it, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it. San Antonio leading. Parker outside. Chandler, and a bit of a battle here for the ball. The official signals a jump ball here. Puts up the baby hook, and that's off the glass and in. And so here's Denver. From midcourt, the shot is off. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Spurs out. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Spurs.
What great hustle defensively through 2 quarters of play, contesting everything, starting to rack up those block shots, guys.
They also came out of the locker room with their running shoes on. I mean, their transition game has been full throttle.
And the shot is good. Bonner's got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for the Spurs. The Nuggets trail by 6.
You know, it's pretty hard not to ask the question after the Nuggets were bounced in the first round of the playoffs if, in fact, they were better constructed for the regular season than the playoffs.
You know, continuing to talk about the Nuggets, it is a fair question to ask because this group, Steve, has been so successful in the regular season but has yet to make a big splash in the postseason.
Yeah, I think they've advanced out of the first round one time in the last 9 seasons. So, I think it's a fair question, Kevin. I think you can win playing fast, but you have to have balance. Look at the Spurs last year. They played a very high tempo, but they played excellent defense as well. You've got to have some kind of a balance to win in the postseason.
So neither attempt will fall that time for him.
You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Guys, Kawhi Leonard, the Spurs' highest draft pick since Tim Duncan, and he has been a starter from his first game in the NBA. Coach Popovich says he's really a special player at both ends of the court, and what makes me so confident about him is that he wants it so badly. He comes early, he stays late, and he's coachable. I think he's going to be a star and the face of the Spurs. Big praise from a coach not known for hyperbole, guys.
Well, Doris, it's hard to put a ceiling on him. He does have star potential. And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players and have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, he had the players watching the presidential debates together.
So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Splitters checked in for Matt Bonner. Duncan comes in for Boris Diaw. Kawhi Leonard is checked in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Green in for Bellinelli. And a fast break now for the Spurs. And Kawhi Leonard with the slam.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Parker drives in, and the basket good. Parker's got 8.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting in the paint and keep scoring points. Keep it going.
Yeah, not a lot you can do defensively when they continue to get the ball inside and get these easy shots.
And the shot is good. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far.
You know, guys, it seemed to be a great fit initially in Denver with McGee and the Nuggets. But he had a bit of a wake-up call from George Karl last season when Karl said of McGee, lazy and crazy isn't going to make it work.
Fournier dishes to McGee. Miller and Gallinari kicks to Fareed. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And with JaVale McGee, his then coach Karl said he's a tremendous talent. Karl just wants him to be more fundamentally sound.
Well, he said it on multiple occasions, and one of the reasons McGee never got into the starting lineup under Karl was that he was too sporadic with his effort. He'd make a spectacular play and then turn it around and make a bad one. So he needs consistency in his game.
He's off on the second.
And while it wasn't the biggest win streak of the season, the Nuggets did have a pretty good rampage of their own from the end of February into March. And because it happened when the Heat were doing what they were doing, the Nuggets kind of flew under the radar.
Turnaround Jay. Good.
He is just so good from that range, guys.
You know, never mind with the height advantage he had there.
The Nuggets trail by 15. The dish to Fareed. He feeds it to McGee. Back to Fareed. The Nuggets moving the ball around. Kicks it to Gallinari. 6 to shoot. Miller makes the lead pass. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more. Well, as you said, the Nuggets put together their big 15-game winning streak. But, you know, Steve, since it happened, when the Heat rattled off their big push, nobody really even seemed to notice.
That's right. It might have worked out in their favor anyway, Kevin, because, you know, that win streak really kind of put them into high gear and allowed them to climb into the third spot in the West. Probably was nice not having the media focused on them and wanting to talk to them every day about what was happening in the Western Conference.
Parker with it. And it's Miller picking him up. He dishes it to Leonard. Feeds it to Parker. Parker off the pick from Splitter. Off the screen. Gallinari with the rebound.
Well, I think he had all the space he needed. He just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
McGee the pass to Fournier. To JaVale McGee. It's stolen by Duncan. Now here's the fast break. Parker leading the way. And he uses the glass on the layup. Parker's got 10 points in the game.
Good aggressive finish on the break.
That's as easy a 2 points as you could ask for.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Well, guys, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, one of the most respected coaches in the league. As hard as he works, he's never took the game or himself too seriously. Asked about his creativity as a coach, he said, quote, "Oh, heck, I don't know anything about innovation. Here's my innovation. I drafted Tim Duncan." Okay, end of story. Guys, always a straight shooter.
Thank you, Doris. I would say Coach Popovich sold himself a little bit short. He's a very humble guy and very well respected.
He sure is. And he knows how much Duncan does out there, but we all know what a great coach Pop is.
Fareed, right side, just 5 to shoot. It's stolen by Duncan. And here is Parker. 10 points for him. Green. He claims that one off the back iron, and down it falls. Green's got 4 points this quarter.
The field goal percentage has been bumped up into the high 50s now.
Well, they should be winning with shooting the ball like that. This is a very efficient offense we're seeing out of this club.
And Fareed kicks to McGee. Passes to Fournier. Miller. Dishes to Fareed. Here's Fournier. No luck. Great D that time from Thiago Splitter. Here's San Antonio now. They're on a 19-4 run. Here's Leonard. Moves back up. And Duncan lays it in. And the Spurs lead by 21.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
I agree. They need more energy in the post, maybe some double teaming. They've got to get their defense in gear.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Outside, Green. Parker outside. There's the pass to Splitter. Gets it to go. Splitter's got his second basket.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
Fournier dishes to Fareed. And no good trying to get that one. And through the first half, a pretty lopsided affair. It's San Antonio running away with it.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Happy Tuesday to all of you from us at 2K Sports. I'm Damon Bruce. A tremendous start for the Spurs.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.